struggle. We struggle with life every day. We struggle with what we want. We struggle with what we need. We struggle from day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute, and second to second. But there is no greater struggle besides the struggle within our own selves, our own minds. The box. In the beginning, he stood there and he waited patiently. It was early in the morning, just before the sun rises in the east. And as daybreak came, he waited for the precious cargo which would soon be arriving. For he knew that patience is a virtue, and this cargo he would be guarding for a lifetime. He changed positions as often as necessary to keep himself comfortable. And as the sun rose higher and higher into the morning sky just above the tree line, you could feel the heat. It would be a very hot day. Yet he stood there patiently, waiting, guarding the box, and awaiting his cargo. It would not be long now before the precious cargo arrived. The morning birds were seeking their morning meal, and the sun had risen to a height where the heat could be felt, overtaking the land. It was going to be a very hot day. As they arrived, you could see that he was but a lad. He had not lived many moons. He was a young boy. Yet, he was still bound as if he were dangerous. They placed him within the confines of the box, and they went on about their way. Soon he realized that he was within the box, alone. The box, it was built very strong. It was designed to hold one for an entire lifetime. It had beams in every corner, and the attachments were firmly affixed to them. Ventilation was minimal, but necessary. For without oxygen, one could not survive within. The moon rose high into the sky, and although it had been a hot day, it was a nice, cool night. And many moons would go by before he was given knowledge. In the beginning, he did not take to knowledge, for in the beginning, he did not understand the reasoning for literature. He only desired the bare necessities of life. Therefore, when he was initially presented with knowledge, he tested it for the bare essentials of life and found it to be wanting and discarded it. However, sleep, and more sleep seemed to become his friend. Soon, it would seem that all he did was sleep. It has been said that sleep is the sister to death, and one who sleeps is already deemed to be dead. However, one can only sleep so much, and then he must awaken. Food and drink were necessary for survival and were therefore provided on a regular basis. However, in time, he would hunger and he would thirst for much more than mere nutrition. Again, he was presented with knowledge, but this time he sought to understand, and he began to delve into the literature and realize its importance and its value. On that day, the clouds were high in the sky, and he began to grow. Soon thereafter, he was introduced to some forms of wildlife. And the realization that although he was alone in the box, he was not alone in life began to set in on him. And he came to understand things by studying the wildlife that he was presented with. It is amazing how much a man can learn from a turtle, an ant, a spider, or any other form of life. Soon he began to discover faults within the walls of the box. And in attempting to penetrate them, he realized that the box had many weaknesses awaiting discovery. It is at that point that he set out to explore the inner confines of the box in great detail. And as he explored the box appeared to weaken. He noticed on one day that through a small hole which he had penetrated in the box, he could see beyond the box, and that enlightened him with excitement. It fueled his desire for something more than what he had experienced for his entire life up to this point. Still unsure what to do, he penetrated many areas of the box, and he began to gander through the holes into the outside world that existed outside of the box. With that came the realization that although he was alone inside the box, there was much more to be discovered outside of the box. Soon he began to focus his efforts on one particular hole, attempting to penetrate it again and again until it expanded. And he worked at that hole consistently and ongoing. He concentrated all of his efforts on that one particular hole. And as he worked, he noticed that the hole began to increase in size. He made several small holes around it, and he dug at it, and he stayed at it day and night until finally a breakthrough, not just a physical breakthrough of a hole in the box, but a mental breakthrough, a spiritual breakthrough, a breakthrough in his own reality, in his discovery of self, in his realization, his growth. Now, his finger could exit the box, and his mind wondered how he could exit the box with more than just a finger. His mind wondered, so he worked at the hole continually. His desire was no longer for food. He no longer thirsted for nutritional value. However, he did realize that there was much more outside of the box than there had ever been inside. For now the hole was large enough for him to see, to smell. Yes, he could see that there was an entire world existing outside of the box. He could even taste it. It was freedom. Early in the morning on the following day, finally, he had broken out of his box and found his way out into the wilderness. He knew not where he would go. He only knew where he would not go, where he would not ever go again. And that was back into the box.